So let's start. We shall start with chanting. Before that, good evening to all of you who have joined. Thanks for joining. So we shall first chant two verses from Narayana Suttam, okay, which we have already chanted. Just to keep the practice, we shall chant those two. Then we shall go to the new verse today. Okay. So verse number 4 and 5, which we have already known. So let's do it together. Narayana paro jyotir atma narayana paraha narayana param brahma tattvam narayana paraha Narayana paro dhyata dhyanam narayana paraha yat chakinchit jagat sarvam drishyate shruyate piva antar bahischa tat sarvam vyapya Narayana sthitaha. Now, the sixth. Okay. Before chanting the sixth, we shall read together the meaning of verse number 6. So, Narayana is the limitless, imperishable, omniscient, residing in the ocean of the heart, the cause of the happiness of the universe, the supreme end of all striving, manifesting in the ether of the heart, which is comparable to an inverted bud of the lotus flower. What an image, right? An inverted bud of lotus flower, which is like the heart. There Narayana resides, not only everywhere, but also at the center of our heart. Okay. Now, the sixth one, which will be call and response first. Okay. Anantam abhayam kavigam. Anantam abhayam kavigam. Samudrentam Vishwa Shambhuvam Padma Kosha Pratikashagam Padma Kosha Pratikashagam Hridayam Chapyodho Mukham Hridayam Chapyodho Mukham. Let us do it again, call and response. Okay. Anantam abhayam kavigam. Anantam abhayam kavigam. Samudrentam Vishwa Shambhuvam Padma Kosha Pratikashagam Padma Kosha Pratikashagam Hridayam Chapyodho Mukham Hridayam Chapyodho Mukham. Now let us chant together. Anantam abhayam kavigam samudrentam vishwa shambhuvam padma kosha pratikashagam hridayam chapya dhomukham. Once more. Anantam avvayam kavigam samudrentam vishwasambhuvam padmakosha pratikashagam hridayam chapyo dhomukham. All right. Now to our class, Narada Bhakti Sutra. We are in the fourth section of Narada Bhakti Sutra, and here many topics are being, miscellaneous topics are being discussed. First, Narada said about that ineffability of this experience of Parabhakti, supreme love. It cannot be expressed through words, but it is a subtle experience which everybody can experience, and unlike any other experience, it is ever fresh, and this love, divine love, keeps on growing at the heart of the devotee. Then he said that Gauni Bhakti, which is secondary Bhakti, that is the path of Bhakti Yoga, the spiritual practices of Bhakti Yoga, or how Bhakti expresses through us, through our different practices. These can be classified in two ways. And in both ways, we get three types of Bhakti, right? One is Tamasika Bhakti, Rajasika Bhakti, Sattvika Bhakti, which we saw that. And then Bhakti based upon motive, through which motive one has come to God. One is Artha, that's needy. Artha means was helpless. Then Jiggashu, inquisitive, and Artharthi, those who are needy, they need something, that's why they have come to God. In the next aphorism, and we noted that we need not be so much worried about these divisions, that is my bhakti sattvika, rajasika, and tamasika. We should just naturally be as we are, lest so we should judge others' bhakti. Okay, what kind of bhakti others are having. That is the downside of knowing all these things. We try to judge others. So that danger we have to avoid. But it's a text on bhakti, so naturally Narada will be giving us the most detailed picture as possible. So next aphorism, he speaks about the gradation of bhakti. Okay, so among the divisions or classifications, what is the hierarchy? What is the hierarchy of bhakti? Aphorism 58. Okay. Okay. So let us just have a look on the classifications, right? Classified in accordance with gunas, classified in accordance with motives. Okay, so in this next aphorism, he will speak that Sattvika Bhakti is better than Rajasika Bhakti, Rajasika Bhakti is better than Tamasika Bhakti, and Artha Bhakti is better than Jiggashu Bhakti, and Jiggashu Bhakti is better than Artharthi Bhakti. We shall see them in details, what it really means. Aphorism 58 is Uttarasmat Purva Purva Sheyayo Bhavati. Okay, let's read it together. Uttarasmat Purva Purva Sheyaya Bhavati. Okay. So Purva means each preceding one is Bhavati, better than Uttarasmat, the succeeding one. Shreyaya, for the attainment of the highest goal. Shreya means the highest. Okay, so the meaning of the aphorism is each preceding one is better than the succeeding one for the attainment of the highest goal. Okay, so this has to be kept in mind. One is better than the other only in terms of attainment of the highest goal. Okay, so what is the highest goal? What is the highest goal? Chat, answer. Prema, yes. Prema or Parabhakti, right? That we have to always keep in mind. Parabhakti, the supreme love, which is spontaneous, overflowing love. Yes, Parabhakti, that is the highest goal that we should not lose sight of. Okay, now the hierarchy of bhakti. First, according to the gunas, okay, Sattvika bhakti is better than Rajasika bhakti, and Rajasika bhakti is better than Tamasika bhakti. So Tamasika bhakti, as we noted, is kind of when we are blindly following something, blindly following, say, the rituals associated with bhakti practices, or we are doing very mechanically. Okay. For example, suppose I am doing a puja and it is, if we am in the influence of Tamasika bhakti, then I am doing it without understanding or doing it just for maintaining social norms. Sometimes, say, japa, repeating the mantras, that is a bhakti practice. So suppose I am mechanically repeating the mantra, and not only mechanically, I am not even aware of what I am doing. So that is an example of Tamasika bhakti, right? Better than this is Rajasika bhakti. Why? In this state, we have little better understanding, not so much blindly following, and we know this is good what we are doing, so we should do it a lot and with great zeal. So much zeal that probably we'd like to inspire others to do the same. Okay, for example, missionary activities, that is Rajasika. So puja, suppose doing it with some understanding, but with great pomp and show, that is Rajasika. Okay, showing a great deal of rituals, but at the same time, more of show and pomp. Suppose I am doing japa and in the mood of rajas, then I shall be interested in repeating the mantra a lot. Okay, so we shall set a lot of goal. So, and will be more interested in the number than the quality of, say, my prayer and quality of my japa, repetition of mantra. It is not bad, okay? Let us remember that. Even mechanically doing has a great place in it. Even say we are not feeling inspired, but we are just mechanically doing that, that has also great value. But when we are talking about which one is better, then one is definitely better than the other. Then Sattvika Bhakti is, as we noted, it is a serene Bhakti, okay, humble Bhakti in a spirit of surrender. So in such a mood, if we are doing puja, the puja will be very simple, but with lot of real devotion and correct attitude. And in the same way, when we are doing japa, we are more interested in the quality than the quantity of japa. Okay, and we are doing it with great absorption. So Sattvika Bhakti is closer to the goal of Para Bhakti, because slowly we are going to or evolving towards total surrender and absorption in divine love. Hence, it is superior to Rajasika Bhakti, and Rajasika Bhakti is superior to Tamasika Bhakti, because in Rajasika Bhakti there is enthusiasm, there is understanding, but there is also zeal. So it is better than Tamasika Bhakti. Okay, that is why Sattvika is better than Rajasika, Rajasika is better than Tamasika, and as we know, gunas are never static, right? Gunas are never static. In the same person, different gunas play their role at different times, right? Sometimes we are doing mechanically, sometimes with great zeal, and sometimes with real absorption. So all those things appear to us, but the prevalence, what is the most prevalent? According to that, we say this is Rajasika, Sattvika, and Tamasika. All right. Then this was about this according to the gunas. Now, according to the motives, we saw that three motives. One is Artha Bhakti, Jigyashu Bhakti, and Artharthi Bhakti. That is Bhakti motivated by a real sense of helplessness, then motivated by inquiry, or motivated by need. Okay. So according to this aphorism, Artha Bhakti, that is bhakti out of helplessness or real sense of helplessness, is better than inquiry. And that is even better than bhakti motivated by only, say, physical needs or need for entertainment and all those things. But remember, make no mistake, this has reference to Bhagavad Gita verse, right? Where Sri Krishna says, all of them are Sukritanaha, right? All of those are virtuous people. So no matter what one's motive is, if one has come to God, turned to God, or turned to spirituality, it should be considered a virtue in itself. All of them are virtuous. Okay. Then, yes. So Artharthi Bhakti is needy Bhakti. The motive for devotion is fulfillment of needs, right? Wealth, entertainment, etc. If there is any other way of fulfilling those needs, so devotee might find that God is redundant. So in this sense, this motive is not compelling enough. Then second is Jigyashu Bhakti, that is inquisitive Bhakti. So someone has taken interest in spirituality and wants to find answer of some pressing questions like meaning of life, purpose of life, what happens after death, this type of questions, and they turn towards God with this type of questions. Or we may say they are, explorers. So these are better. This bhakti is better than needy bhakti. Okay. And finally, there is Artha Bhakti, that is yearning, real yearning, a genuine surrender, a genuine yearning to see God. Okay, Sri Ramakrishna is the example, right? That he showed us through yearning alone, one can really experience God. Through yearning alone, without doing anything, through yearning alone, he got the vision of Kali. Okay, the experience of God. That is, Sri Ramakrishna is the example of yearning. And this yearning is the strongest pull. Okay, when I am helplessly, not helplessly turning to God for solving our problems or take out us from some difficult situations, but also the surrender or helplessness in the sense of that I am unable to bear this separation. Okay, I want to experience God. That is Artha Bhakti. So it has got the most strength. Sri Ramakrishna gives the example when yearning has dawned in heart. Okay, it is just like before sunrise, the sky has started becoming pinkish. Okay, pink, because sun is going to rise soon. So if this yearning has dawned in heart, then one should know that that Parabhakti or realization of God is not far away. So that's why Artha Bhakti is better than only inquisitive Bhakti, and inquisitive Bhakti is better than needy Bhakti. And if we look at it, this hierarchy is based on increasing intimacy with God. Okay, increasing intimacy with God. And also we should remember that this above hierarchy is from the standpoint of bhakti. Standpoint of bhakti. Okay. From the standpoint of jnana, they will say a jiggashu is better. One who wants to answer, one who wants to know their real nature, they are better. So we have to remember, from the standpoint of bhakti, from the path of bhakti, this artha, one who has total surrender and yearning, is better than those who want to find answers to God, answer to their question. And they are even better than who has come only to fulfill their need. One way of knowing our motive is a thought experiment. Okay, one thought experiment we can do to know our motive, that we can think deeply with our eyes closed, that suppose God appears before us right now, what we shall ask for. Okay, so make it feel real that yes, God has really appeared before us, and now what I will ask for. That can give some clue about, our motive, whatever it is. And we don't have to tell others, we can check our own motive. So summary of this aphorism is, in terms of one-pointedness in bhakti, Sattvika Bhakti is better than Rajasika Bhakti, and Rajasika Bhakti is better than Tamasika Bhakti. Okay, we can easily imagine the picture. Sattvika Bhakti, the devotee has having only one concern, God. Okay, and in Rajasika Bhakti, they have concern for God. At the same time, they have that extra energy and zeal to do many other things, bhakti things, bhakti related things. So it is not totally one-pointed, which is better than Tamasika Bhakti, though, where we are blindlessly following something. So in terms of one-pointedness, Sattvika Bhakti is better than Rajasika Bhakti, and Rajasika Bhakti is better than Tamasika Bhakti. And in terms of strength of our bhakti, or strength of our earnestness, bhakti motivated by yearning or a sense of real helplessness is better than bhakti motivated by a sense of inquiry, which is even better than bhakti motivated by fulfillment of need. That is the summary of this aphorism. Okay. But after knowing all those things, we can also forget all these classifications and hierarchy. There will be no loss in our spiritual life, even if we don't know these things and go further about them. Then next aphorism, aphorism 59. Now, Narada turns to again praising path of bhakti. Okay, praise of path of bhakti. Next three aphorisms will be about that. So aphorism 59 is Anyasmat Saulabhyam Bhakto. Let's read it together. Anyasmat Saulabhyam Bhakto. Saulabhyam means it is easier to succeed. Bhakto, in the path of bhakti. Anyasmat, than in other paths. It is easier to succeed in the path of bhakti than in other paths. Okay. Why? Why Narada says so? Before going that, let me see if there was any question related to this aphorism. Okay. How can we describe Raga Bhakti or Vaidhi Bhakti? This is referred to in the sayings of Nanda. Okay, right. Okay. Raga Bhakti and Vaidhi Bhakti. Yes. Raga Bhakti is another name for Para Bhakti. Okay. Raga means attachment. Okay. Which is in worldly term, it is bad, but in the case of bhakti, raga is very good. That is, I am very attached to my God. Okay. So that is equivalent to para bhakti. And this apara bhakti, which we are talking about, this also goes by different names, right? One we know, apara bhakti. Another we came across. What is that? Recently we came across another name. Go ahead. Gauni Bhakti, right. Gauni means secondary, okay. It also goes by the name Vaidhi Bhakti. That is, Vaidhi, the word has come from Vidhi. Okay, Vidhi means rituals or following some certain practices. So that means I am following still, the love is not yet spontaneous, okay. So this is the difference between the two. All right. So why Narada says that bhakti, success in bhakti is easier than in other paths. Okay. So this aphorism is very loaded, very brief, but very loaded, and we need to understand it in proper perspective. Narada will give his reasons for why he said so in the next two aphorisms. Before going to them, we can take note of these following points. One is, it's a bhakti text. Okay, definitely it will always extol bhakti over others, other paths. As we saw earlier, Narada says bhakti is greater than all other paths, and there he gave other reasons like earlier too, he alluded to this point, right? That bhakti is better than other. It was the second section. It brings one closer to God, right? Right. What else? Yeah. Bhakti is both the goal and the path, right? That is one great advantage of bhakti, that path as well as goal, right? And there he extolled bhakti, that it is an experience, as an experience, right? He gave the example that as simply knowing about food does not appease our hunger, so simply knowledge about God does not appease our hunger, appease our soul's hunger for experiencing God. In that sense, bhakti gives us the experience, so bhakti is better than other paths. And also, you may remember, we noted at that point when he referred to bhakti, he was referring to para bhakti, okay, the goal, when I have already got that love. So as a goal, bhakti is superior to, definitely, from all other paths. It is superior to Jnana Yoga, superior to Karma Yoga, superior to Raja Yoga, and superior even from Bhakti Yoga. Got the point? When he was talking about Para Bhakti, which is our goal, to have spontaneous love, so as it is the goal, it is greater than definitely the path, right? In that sense, bhakti is superior to other paths. Here, he is speaking in a different note. This note is success in bhakti yoga is easier than others. Okay. So it's a bhakti text. It will definitely extol bhakti yoga. If we read Acharya Shankara and his commentary, at many places he says jnana is the most direct path. Okay, so he is true in his own standpoint, because he situates the problem as Jnana Yoga situates the problem as that the problem of our suffering is non-recognition, right? Non-recognition of our true nature. In another word, which I hate to use, ignorance. Ignorance is not the correct word for jnana. Okay, it is more about non-recognizing the fact that we are that great Brahman reality. So the antidote for that is knowledge, non-recognition. So it has to be mitigated by recognition, knowledge. So he says jnana is the most direct path. So he is right from his standpoint. And Narada is right from his standpoint that bhakti is easier than other path. Then ease or difficulty is a relative concept, right? Ease or difficulty. For example, those who love figures, for them, math is very easy. They won't understand why people find math to be difficult. It is so easy for them to math, okay? So that's why, so those who have natural inclination for bhakti, it is easy for them, but it cannot be generalized. It cannot be generalized that bhakti is easiest for all. Okay, bhakti, it is a very subjective thing. And it may not be easy for those who have an abstract and impersonal idea of God, or who have a more philosophical bent of mind. For them, it may not be easy. But having said all this, bhakti is easy for most of us, if not for all of us. For most of us, Bhakti Yoga is easy. Why? First of all, Bhakti is all about love. A feeling, a power called love, which all of us are aware of. It is not something abstract we have not experienced like Brahman. Okay, say Jnana Yoga. They are speaking about the ultimate reality, which we are even are having difficulty in having a conception of. But Bhakti is all about love. It's a feeling or it's a power which we are all aware of. Okay, it's real for us. So what Bhakti Yoga is speaking to us is just direct this power towards God. Okay, it is difficult that we are finding it difficult to direct towards God because we don't know who God is. That we are coming to next, but we are aware of the force called love. Okay, so we are not dealing with something very abstract. Sri Ramakrishna says, I think that is the most elegant definition of spirituality or religion. Sri Ramakrishna says what? Religion is very simple. Love God. Okay, he says love God. So that is what Bhakti Yoga is. That just directing this power towards divine. Okay, then take the path of Jnana Yoga. The first step in Jnana Yoga is to neti, not this, not this. Okay, the world, things we are seeing around us, it is not what really they are. Okay, so reject this and try to realize that ultimate reality as spirit, as consciousness within first. And once we experience that consciousness or infinity within, we shall see that infinity outside. Okay, so the first process is neti, not this, rejecting. But Bhakti is not asking us to reject anything. He's not asking us to reject anything. Bhakti is of course asking us to minimize our, love for material things or like that, and divert our attention towards the divine. But it is not as such telling us to deny or reject the reality of world. Okay, it is one thing. Then Bhakti is not asking us for a radical shift in outlook. It's not asking us to radically shift your outlook. See Jnana Yoga, it is from the very beginning asking us to radically shift our outlook about what we know. Okay, so one great Swami said that why so many books and commentaries and sub-commentaries on Vedanta? Because he says the Vedanta has a great problem. Problem is, it is saying what we know to be real, it is unreal. And something which we even don't know, don't have understanding of, that is the real. Okay, so that is a great problem before Vedanta. So Vedanta has to pay a lot of attention in driving home these two ideas. But compared to that, Bhakti is not asking us to radically shift our idea. So what Bhakti is really, if we look at our personal life, suppose I am attracted to a small image I have, right, of anyone, say Jesus, a image, or say Hanuman or Ganesha, and slowly I have grown some affinity towards that image, okay, over the years. Or maybe the surprising way the image came to my life. Okay, I have a special affinity for that image. Or a photograph, okay, which many of us, carry a photograph of some deity in our wallet or in our, say, even car, in a car we have. So over the years, we are slowly getting attached to that image, photo, or some personality. And what we have to do now, that little love or affinity, attachment we have for that image or photo or that person, we have to just cultivate it slowly and gradually until it becomes very strong. Okay, very strong. So it is all about attachment, creating attachment to our idea of the divine. For example, for me, okay, I love Sri Ramakrishna not because Sri Ramakrishna is the incarnation of God. Whether he is God or not, I don't care much. Okay, but I love the person. I love the person as it is represented in gospel. His lightheartedness, his humor, his honesty, his straightforwardness. Plus, I have visited Dakshineshwar a few hundred times, the room where he used to sit, where he spent 35 years. So that room went several times, and slowly I grew attachment to Sri Ramakrishna. Okay, and hopefully it will grow. So bhakti at the very outset is not challenging our outlook. It is just asking us to, if we have a little bit of attachment or affinity to some image, some photo, wherever that may be, just go on with that and cultivate, even a little bit of that attachment and affinity is great in our life. Raga, attachment. Then finally, not finally, then another point is, it has been found, through research, they did a lot of research on this, psychologists in Southern California. And they reached to the conclusion, I'm not going details into that study, human beings probably have an innate urge to surrender to a higher reality. Probably they say it is built in our gene to surrender to a higher reality. Okay, and this study was a result of finding why the problem of depression. Okay, problem of depression. So they tried to find out that is there a spiritual solution to the problem of depression. So I gave a talk on it, let's talk about depression. Okay, or probably this next part of it, the spiritual approach to depression. There I quoted this research greatly, that they found that we have an innate urge to surrender to a reality which is powerful or higher than us. And when that is obstructed, that is not channeled properly, probably depression might take place. And it made quite a sense for us, made quite a sense for me. Anyway, so it appears that human beings have an innate urge to depend or surrender to a higher reality. It's already in us. Now, this we may not verbalize it or may not explicitly say it. We also have this idea that that being is a person. They did a Pew Research. Okay, Pew Research did a research a few years ago. Americans how they think about God. So many people said, yes, we believe in spirituality, and to us, that ultimate reality is not a person, is not a something personal. It is impersonal, all-pervading. Then when they started probing, asking further about that all-pervading reality, almost all of them described that reality in terms of human emotions. That reality, that ultimate reality is compassionate, love human beings, is the force, good force in working through them. So the conclusion of that research was that most of us may not admit or may not know, but we think of that ultimate reality on which we want to connect to. We actually think of that ultimate reality in the depth of our heart in terms of a person, in terms of a person. So Bhakti Yoga is connecting to that reality, that personal reality. Okay, that's why Bhakti should be easier for most of us. And it is all about making that reality more and more intimate, more and more. So the essence of Bhakti Yoga is a reality, a higher reality, a person whom I am considering as a person, and to have a very intimate connection with them, that I belong to that reality, and that reality belong to me, very intimate. This is all about Bhakti Yoga, intimacy, how intimate the connection is. And another reason is, as we progress along the path of Bhakti, we experience the sweetness of Bhakti, which we cannot deny, because slowly and gradually we are moving and we are seeing the sweetness of this. For example, I say that I don't care about whether Sri Ramakrishna is really listening to me or hearing to me, or he's a consciousness. No, I get so much of benefit, even in utilitarian terminology, so much of benefit and change in my life by loving Sri Ramakrishna. So it encourages us to remain in the path. That is why success in the path of Bhakti is easier. That we are, yes, the ultimate goal is very high. What the ultimate goal is quite high, but even a little bit of progress we are able to recognize. If we just look back in our life, we see that what a new dimension it has added to our life. Okay, so that encourages us. And in any path, if what we need most is the encouragement, right? That with following this path, I am seeing these benefits slowly now, so I shall remain in the path. But suppose in other path like Jnana Yoga, and one is doing the analysis and vichar, it requires great willpower to continue the journey. Okay, so also for Raja Yoga, so also for Karma Yoga. But Bhakti Yoga, no matter at what level we are, whatever the strength of our love is, but we have all experienced love. So the chance of our staying in the path is higher. And since the chance of staying in the path is higher, so the chance of reaching the goal of Parabhakti is higher than any other path. In next two aphorisms, Narada will state 3 reasons. He will give his 3 reasons in support of his view why success in the path of bhakti is easier. So summary of this aphorism is, success in bhakti yoga is easier because number 1, it appeals to our innate feeling or power called love. Number 2, it does not ask us to reject the reality of the world. Number 3, it does not ask for a radical shift in our outlook. Number 4, we have a natural inclination to think of the higher reality in terms of human emotions. Number 5, it is a gradual path leading to intimacy. And finally, its effect is readily appreciated. So the path of bhakti, success in the path of bhakti is easier than other paths. Okay. We shall see later on what Narada has to say about that. Okay. Let me see what are the questions here. Bhakti also leads to jnana. Yes, bhakti also leads to jnana. Right. What is the relation of Narada's path of Parabhakti and Vishishtva-Advaita? Okay, I'll answer that. Attachment for worldly things, my body, my mind is naturally always there. How can it be devotional channel for the yearning for supreme reality? Should not bhakti be tempered by jnana to avoid fanaticism? All right, one by one. What is the relation of Narada's path of Parabhakti and Vishishtva-Advaita? So Vishishtva-Advaita is in practice a bhakti, no difference. Vishishtva-Advaita is only the philosophical view. Okay, so the relationship between me, the highest reality, and world, these 3 things, these 3 ontological realities. Okay, I, world, and that ultimate reality. So Dvaita or Dvaita Vedanta or Bhakti says that I and God and world, all 3 different realities. Okay, they're ontologically different. They can never be one. Okay, Vishishta Advaita says ultimate reality or God is the whole thing, and we are parts. So God, if God is the fire, we are the, the sparkles, right? Or what do you call it in English? In Bengali, it is called, spuling. I'm not getting the term. The things that come out of fire. Yeah, tell me. Spark, yes. We are the sparks, yes. God, if God is fire, we are the sparks. Okay. And world is also part of God. Okay. World is also part of God. This is Vishishto Advaita. And Advaita say that ultimately all are the same reality called Brahman. Okay. So differences are only superficial. But essentially, we are all that same one reality. So it means the differences we have to get rid of. Okay, these differences are only temporary, superficial. In reality, we are all one. So these are the 3 differences between the Advaita, non-dualism, Vishishta Advaita, qualified non-dualism, and Dvaita, dualism. But Vishishta Advaita practice is totally bhakti. Okay, so how to reach that reality? Through the path of bhakti. To the path of bhakti. It's not through analysis, or not through inquiry, but through the path of bhakti. If we can please God, then God will show us the reality. This is the philosophical position of Vishishta Advaita of Ramanuja. But Ramanuja is a greatest devotee, and in practice, there is no difference. Okay, what was the second question? Attachment for worldly things, my body, my mind is naturally always there. Good, it is there. How can it be devotional channel for the? Yes. So that is the beauty of bhakti. The attachment for other things, let them be. Okay, let them be. But the goal is to only growing our attachment to God too. Okay, Sri Ramakrishna gave although what we have studied so far, Narada has prescribed several times that withdraw from worldly attachments or worldly enjoyments and give your mind to God. But remember, these are idealistic, totally idealistic sense. Sri Ramakrishna gives the example that if we are walking towards the east, west naturally remains at our back. Okay, so the bhakti position is, if we just keep on cultivating our love for God, the love for other things will automatically be lessened and lessened. Okay, we don't have to force anything. That way, I don't have to think about how to reduce my attachment to these things. Rather, focus on how I can, engage more with God in whatever way I can. Narada has said there are several ways to be engaged with God, right? Name, singing, reading, listening, puja, whatnot. And in that connection, we discussed many ways of engaging with God. So that should be the goal of the devotee, that how to be engaged in this positive way of engaging with God, rather than thinking about how to get disengaged from the world. Okay, if this takes place, then that will automatically take place, automatically come. Okay, all right. Should not bhakti be tempered by jnana? Yes, that we shall come later on. Now we are exclusively focusing on bhakti. Is that why often in India the Nayaki Nayaka concept is the way to depict the yearning for human, for the divine? Yes, yes, yes. Actor and actress, sparks. Oh, if you do it. Is sadhana essential for bhakti, or is it built in or gradually brought in? The meditation practice as taught by the Guru seems to have aspects of Bhakti Yoga as you described it. Is it useful way to practice Bhakti Yoga daily? Yes, definitely. This answer I am going. So our question was, the daily meditation practice as taught by Guru seems to have aspects of Bhakti Yoga as you described it. Is it a useful way to practice Bhakti Yoga daily? Sure. Sure. That is a sure way of practicing Bhakti Yoga. Is sadhana essential for bhakti, or is it built in or gradually brought in? We discussed this point earlier. Okay, my reading or observation is, there are some fortunate individuals who have bhakti naturally, from their very childhood, because of the probably their upbringing, or maybe, who knows, their past life was like that. They have a natural yearning or bhakti, which is not result of any sadhana or spiritual practice. So all the practices that Narada is speaking about is for others who have some amount of love. If you remember, at the very beginning, first aphorism, Athato Bhakti Vyakhyasama, then we discussed who these aphorisms are for whom, right? We noted there those who have felt that they are helpless. They have turned to God. Okay. And otherwise, this coming won't be. They have some amount of yearning for God. They have little bit of love for God, but they want to increase that love for God. For them are these aphorisms. Okay. So sadhana is essential at the same time, not essential for many. All right. All right, very good. So see you next week when Narada will come up with his rationale for stating why success in Bhakti Yoga is easier than in other paths. All right. Okay, so we shall do the guided meditation, and I take 1 minute's break before that. You too can take and, drink a glass of water, things like that.